And we are back. Welcome back to the Nations League prediction series on England's final day in League A before getting relegated down to League B for the next campaign. An absolutely embarrassing thing to say, but more on that in my reaction video tonight following the Germany game. So look out for that one. Between somewhere like 10 and 10:30 PM this evening, I will be doing a post-match reaction to that. As for yesterday, though, it was very much a case of last game of group stage syndrome. And what I mean by that, I will show you right now, because essentially what you had was an awful lot of teams where nothing was really on the line, decided to rest a few players, try out some other players, and that, of course, then meant that the results did not go as you would usually expect. So these were the games that I predicted yesterday, and these were the results. Standout results, of course, being Faroe Islands winning against Turkey, Azerbaijan's 3-0 win over Kazakhstan, and, of course, Denmark's 2-0 win over France, which sadly for them was still not enough to see them progress to the semi-finals after Croatia's win against Austria. But what I was saying about last game of group stage syndrome is, like I said, a lot of these teams that lost when you didn't really expect them to made a lot of changes, because essentially the game doesn't really matter. They'd already progressed to the next round, or they'd already been relegated, or they were just in a position where they knew they were safe and knew they couldn't get promoted. So it didn't really matter to either of those teams. So yeah, it does make predicting a lot harder, and sadly it did mean that out of 10 games yesterday we were only able to score 4 points. But it does bring our tournament total now up to 98, so fingers crossed we should definitely be hitting 100 before the end of this Nations League period, before we look ahead to the knockout stages in the summer. As always, please let me know down in the comments how you got on, and let's look ahead to tonight's games, where I have been very nice for you, and I've already told you all the little caveats that are available for tonight's games, so you can make a more informative decision about your predictions. I know I am. Starting off with League D, and we have the group of San Marino, Estonia and Malta, a group that, as it says there, has already been resolved. Estonia are already guaranteed to be going up after winning every single one of their games so far, and San Marino, sadly for them, have lost every single one of their games so far. I still think whatever team Estonia put out, it's going to be too much for San Marino, so I am going to go for a 3-0 win for Estonia in that one. On to League C then, and the group of Gibraltar, Georgia, North Macedonia and Bulgaria. Again, like it said, this group has already been resolved. No matter what happens, Georgia are already promoted and Gibraltar are already relegated. So, again, it makes it a little bit harder to predict what's going to happen tonight. I still think Georgia will have the better of Gibraltar. I think just all round, again, the Georgians have a much better team and a much better squad than whatever Gibraltar can put out. So I'm going to go for a 3-1 win for Georgia in that one. As for the other game in the group, you could argue there is something on the line in this one. There is 1 point between the two teams as they fight it out for second and third in the group. But again, anything could really happen in terms of the team lineups in this one. I'm just going to go for the bog standard 2-1 home win in that one there. On to League B, and the one with the most bizarre set of circumstances, as you can see there. Depending on how the two results go, it's all about whether or not Finland or Romania get relegated. Bosnia are already promoted, and Montenegro are more than likely to finish second. But there is only 1 point between Finland and Romania have the better countback over Finland in their head-to-head. So it does make it a much more interesting set of fixtures for those two teams, with essentially both teams needing to win and hoping for favours in the other matches. Let's start with that Montenegro-Finland game, and despite the fact that Montenegro, again, like I said, they could make changes because their Nations League campaign is essentially null and void at this point, I still think they're going to beat Finland, and I have to assume that they're going to put out their best possible team. So I'm going to go for 2-1 for Montenegro in that one. However, for the second one, with Romania at home and fighting for their lives, I do expect them to do something. I don't know if it's going to be enough to actually get the win over Bosnia, but I am going to go for a 1-1 draw. If the group ended like that, with Montenegro winning and Romania and Bosnia drawing, that would mean that Romania are safe on that head-to-head countback. So it'll be very interesting to see what happens in that one tonight. Finally then, we have League A, and we will start with the game that matters, which is of course Hungary versus Italy, which is a baffling thing to say when the other game in the group is England versus Germany. But the game that matters is Hungary versus Italy, and as you can see, What needs to happen tonight is that Italy must beat Hungary if they're going to progress to the semi-finals, and Hungary must not lose if they're going to progress to the semi-finals. So it all comes down to this one game. It's sort of like a mini quarter-final, shall we say. But I'm just going to back Hungary. I think it would be a shame after the incredible story that it's been for them in this Nations League, obviously beating England twice, winning in Germany. It would just be so sad to see Italy go and win tonight. And then, I mean, it'd be still a great achievement for Hungary to stay in League A, but it would be such a shame to see them not progress to the semi-finals. I'm going to go for a draw. I'm still going to disrespect them a little bit, and I'm sure the Hungarian fans will let me know about that in the comments. But I think they've done enough, and I think they deserve to get through. So I'm going to predict a result which does see them through. And then finally, of course, we do have the England-Germany game, and quite frankly, I have no idea what's going to happen in this one. I just think everything's such a mess with the England team right now, and it's not much better for the German team. They have one good result and then one terrible result. So, honestly, I think anything is possible for tonight. So, I'm just going to go for what Gareth Southgate hopes is what's going to happen, and that'll be a 1-0 win for England, because he's not going to go for anything more than a 1-0 win for England, is he? We're one game out from the World Cup, so he's not going to try some radical new play style just to play in this one game, is he? I mean, I hope he does. I hope he tries something different, because we need something different if we're going to do anything at the World Cup, but I don't see him changing anything for tonight other than potentially a couple of players in that starting lineup. So 1-0 England I'm going to go for, but that is with absolutely no expectation that it is going to happen. And that is going to be it for today's prediction video. As always, please let me know down in the comments what you think is going to happen. Drop a like if you are enjoying this series, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any of the new content, including, of course, tonight's post-match and post-Nations League reaction video where we have a quick discussion about my thoughts about England going into the World Cup. I will see you tonight.